My name is Henry. One Tuesday night, my wife told me we should put our marriage on hold for a month. She said her boss wanted her on a work trip to Paris with the team. She framed it as time apart to get clarity. We were eating leftover pasta at our small kitchen table when she said it. No warning. No conversation first. Just pause. I didn't argue. I said, okay. I finished dinner and cleaned up. Inside, I felt tired more than angry. Our marriage had been heavy for a long time. Too many rules, too many small fights, too much walking on eggshells. Her pause felt like permission to breathe. Over the next few days, she tested me. She mentioned the hotel's rooftop terrace, late-night brainstorms, and how the boss liked after-hours idea sessions. She watched my face each time. I didn't react. I helped her pack, checked her passport, printed confirmations. The morning she left, I handed her a little travel kit, hand sanitizer, a sleep mask, and a neck pillow. She looked confused that I wasn't fighting the plan. I carried her suitcase to the Uber and waved goodbye. When she left, the apartment got quiet in a good way. I slept in, ordered pancakes, and realized how much stress had been sitting on my shoulders. I started a list on my phone. Things to do while the marriage is on pause. The first item was, remember who I was before I asked permission for everything. I met my friend Trevor for a beer. He said, just know your options. Talk to a lawyer if you want. No decisions, just information. It sounded sensible. A week into her trip, she texted that Paris was magical. Her Instagram stories showed champagne at night, hotel bars, and a rooftop party with the Eiffel Tower in the background. In one photo, she was dancing on a table while coworkers cheered. I took screenshots and put my phone away. I didn't rage. I didn't reply. I went to the gym, lifted weights, and went home to cook a simple dinner. A few days later, the tone of her messages changed. Miss you. Wish you were here. Then late-night calls where she just wanted to hear my voice. I kept my replies short and neutral. Hope your meetings go well. Remember sunscreen. I wasn't being cruel. I was drawing boundaries. I made an appointment with a divorce attorney, Richard Caldwell, a calm, practical guy. I told him everything. The sudden pause, the Paris trip, the stories, the late-night messages. He said two things that stuck with me. First, document everything. Second, you're not the problem for wanting peace. I left with a folder and his card. I didn't file anything yet. I just felt informed. 2 weeks in, she texted, flying back early. We need to talk. I didn't offer to pick her up. When she asked, I said, Uber is reliable. I spent the afternoon sanding a small oak bookshelf I was building. When she arrived, I watched from the window. New clothes, big sunglasses, and a heavy suitcase. Inside, she scanned the apartment. It looked different, cleaner, my weights on a simple rack I'd built. Woodworking plans spread across the table where she had said, pause. She said, you've changed. I said, yeah. She started with, I made a mistake. I held up the lawyer's folder and said I'd talk to an attorney to understand my options. She went quiet. I said I'd seen her stories. I asked why she was back 2 weeks early if everything was just team bonding. She didn't have a good answer. I told her what I'd figured out while she was gone. I liked myself better without constant tension. I liked making my own choices. I liked mornings without a knot in my stomach. I told her I wasn't choosing revenge. I was choosing quiet and a fresh start. I asked her to stay somewhere else for a while. She packed a bag and left for a friend's place. The voicemail started. Calm, apologetic, angry, bargaining, then sad. I didn't respond. My attorney had said, no big talks by phone. Keep records. Keep your distance. I followed that advice. I met Trevor and a new gym friend, Carter, for burgers and a beer on Thursdays. I slept well. I lifted weights. I built things. Life felt lighter. Her friend Melissa asked to meet for coffee. She said my wife was a mess. She also said she'd warned my wife that pausing a marriage to party in Europe was a bad idea. I told Melissa I wasn't out to punish anyone. I was done with the dynamic we had, and I was moving on. She nodded. She said she'd help with logistics when it was time to divide our stuff. The next Saturday, my wife came with boxes. We sorted quietly. Every object had a small memory attached to it. It hurt, but it was simple work. In the kitchen, she held a wedding photo and said, "You're really giving up on us?" I said, "I'm not giving up. I'm giving back everything I handed over. My time, my calm, my choices. She packed. Melissa loaded the car. At the door, my wife said, I really did love you. I said, I know, but I have to love the person I am now. She left. The apartment felt still. Not empty, still. I texted Trevor and Carter. She's gone. Beer? We met that night and kept it short. I had work in the morning. A few months later, the divorce was final. We had a prenup, her idea years ago because she made more then. It protected us both and it made the split quick. Her lawyer tried to slow things down, but the paperwork was clear. When the judge signed, I felt a clean ending. I walked outside, took a deep breath, and went back to my day. Work changed. I started selling small furniture projects. A bookshelf turned into two. Two turned into a dining table commission. I set up a simple workshop in the corner of my living room. I did steady, quiet work with my hands. I posted photos. People started ordering. Life changed in small, steady ways. Thursday gym with Carter and Trevor. Saturday mornings at the farmer's market. A run by the river on Sundays. I said yes to coffee with new people, without fear of a lecture later. I slept. I ate pancakes when I felt like it. I called my mom more. I said no when I meant no. Peace grew one habit at a time. About 6 months after the divorce, my ex spotted me at the coffee shop I'd made my spot. She looked polished but tired. She said I looked good. I said, peace looks good on everyone. She asked to sit. I let her. She said she finally understood what I'd meant about not being able to breathe. She apologized. I believed her. I told her I was glad she'd figured some things out, but there was no going back. We talked for another minute about rent and work. Then she left. I watched her walk away and felt nothing sharp. No anger, no joy, no pull. Just calm. That night, Carter texted, climbing at 7? I said yes. I turned off the shop lights, wiped dust off the bench, and locked up. On the way out, I looked around my place. Weights neatly stacked. A half-built table clamped square. A simple coffee machine burbling on the counter. My life was quiet and mine. People ask if I regret not fighting harder. The truth is, I fought for years. By adjusting, by shrinking, by keeping calm to avoid another debate. Saying okay to her pause wasn't giving up. It was the first honest thing I'd done in a long time. It made space. In that space, I learned I liked the person I was when I wasn't constantly managing someone else's storms. If you want the short version, my wife asked to pause our marriage to go to Paris for work. She partied. I found steady ground. I spoke to a lawyer, set boundaries, and chose a clean exit. We divorced. I built a simple life. Friends, gym, wood, work, sleep. She looked for clarity in another city. I found it at my own kitchen table. That's it. No big twist. No revenge plot. Just a decision. Peace over panic, honesty over drama, the future over the past. My name is Henry. I pressed play on a new life, and I'm doing fine. Thanks for watching PL's. Like and subscribe.